Uh-oh, you're fuming.
That's 'cause I'm outraged!
Again?
Watch it, or you'll get put on the list!
What list?
My list of outrage. Now just shut up and bend to my will.
Bend to your will about what?
Whoa! You're not questioning my outrage, are you?
Ow, my brain just cramped up.
That's what happens when you try to mix reason with outrage. Hello, everyone. I hope you liked that voiceover. Non Sequitur is one of my favorite cartoons from the newspaper, and it makes a valid point that aggression, that, what was that buzzword she used? Outrage, is something that doesn't have rhyme or reason. You're angry because you're angry. And once students are old enough and have the right mindset to be able to communicate why they're angry, that's when real change can occur. But not until they have enough wherewithal and enough resources given to them to express it in an honest way. The articles that I saved for today's video all had sticky note on them about bad behavior. And I know I've done a bad behavior video before. I've saved all of these videos going as far back as our first one from September 29th, 2015, many years ago, but it's still valid today. I don't remember all of the historical data that happened back in 2015 to talk about gun violence, but the author of this op-ed, Andy Fleshman, is in West Hartford the CEO of Nutmeg Big Brothers Big Sisters, which serves 132 Connecticut municipalities. I think that's really great. And what he's talking about in his article, Early Help Guidance Stem Urban Violence, he's stating that there needs to be some kind of continuity amongst all of the young adults who are going into the juvenile justice system. And he names about 3 different types of issues that have occurred in which police were involved. And while these students and children of, student age did break the law, the way in which it was approached may not have been the greatest method for these kids. Example, an apartment building deemed structurally unsafe. After moving, a 15-year-old tries to get his stuff back and gets in trouble for breaking an entry, burglary, etc. I don't think that's burglary. He's trying to take his stuff before the building is demolished. 14-year-old with intellectual disabilities caught shoplifting candy. Now, there's so many methods to explain to students with intellectual disabilities why this is not the right cause of action, helping them see the action steps. When you go to a store, you look for what you want, you make sure you have the right amount of money, you hand your money over to the person on the other side of the register. They may give you change or just a receipt, and you get to keep that candy. And the third example that I don't understand, 13-year-old caught shoplifting socks. If they really needed socks for something and they couldn't afford it, there could be some method to helping them out so that they can do community service, so they can know where these resources are. Maybe even the Department of Children and Families can get involved. I didn't want to spend too much time on this article because I have others to review, but I love how Andy Fleshman talked about the inequality from African Americans in rural areas to the suburban areas, and how talks would happen and calls home to mom and dad with promises to change their behavior versus getting introduced to the juvenile detention system. And as he says, a 2010 study shows putting youth through the juvenile justice system has no crime control effect and leads higher rates of delinquency and later incarceration. Piggybacking off of that last article is another op-ed piece from March of 2014, Helping At-Risk Boys Takes Commitment. And that article had stated about 3 boys. This one is specifically geared towards boys. The author of the article, Terrell McCall Graham, was studying for his master's degree in public health and at Yale University back in 2014. So he probably finished and did a great job back then. This article is so artfully written because he starts out with a personal anecdote of one of his mentees emailing or Facebooking saying how great it was that they helped out. Terrell started the program Brothers Reaching Out, the mentor organization from Paisley International Baccalaureate Magnet School, and it was born out of a desire to have an impact on the broader Winston-Salem community. Later on, he helped to develop another program, which admittedly he took on a little bit too much responsibility, but the program, My Brother's Keeper, detailed moments of too many issues and still trying to help those students in need. A rather large article from June 6, 2014, Preteens Evildoers Aren't Adults. This article by Eric Zorn, which you can find online at the Tribune, also states that children, this specifically says 12-year-olds, but any children, do not have the mental capacity to know what they're doing and how to stop it. I kind of like the comical way in which Zorn writes. Early on in the article, he says that they're impulsive, naive, and malleable by nature. Delightful as they can be, you can't trust them to vote, drive, or do any other type of adult consensual activities. You wouldn't leave them home alone for a week or a weekend because they're children, and that word children is italicized. So I love how the word choices and the real literature aspect of this article plays into what he is saying. That children of the age 12 are still children. Later on, under the picture, he writes, from a moral standpoint, it would be misguided to equate the failings of a minor with those of an adult. For a greater possibility exists that a minor's character deficits will be reformed. And then later he writes, adolescent brains, tempests of hormones, are fully hooked up yet. So you can see the humor in the writing, but it's true. They have all of these biological warfare in their bodies, and they're not able to fully see everything going on. They can't see the bigger picture. You can think of it like their eyes are too tiny for the world around them. That might be a good visual picture for you. And what maybe the people at Litchfield in Orange is the New Black is going to state this year and last is that it's not only fair, but also smart and cost effective to give them a chance to put their childhood transgressions behind them, to make treatment, not punishment, the number one goal. So I really love this article, and I think I'm going to keep it for my records. Back in the day, when girls were only going to get their education in order to become polite members of society, they had etiquette school. Well, this article from October 15th of 2016 talks about an etiquette boot camp for kids. And what I like about it is that it is talking about building up that level of sophistication where no elbows on the dinner table, always use the correct fork and the correct knife and the correct spoon, keep your napkin on your lap after you've ordered your food, and put it away. But from that point on, you really need to get into more etiquette, not just dinner table, but also in life. If you're out in public, regardless of your age, if you're able to open a door for another person, not necessarily for a female, but for another person, hold that door open. If you're walking quickly past, say thank you. Don't just run in and expect it. There's so much etiquette that we need in today's society that we should really be paying a tribute to all of the lessons that our grandmothers learned in school and see if our troubled, aggressive behaviored children can benefit from these common sense methods of interaction. And you know my feelings on the Step 2 program that teaches kids how to interact with one another. I want more. I want to delve deeper, and I want to bring polite back.